I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to work and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought.
I can tell you that 7 years after Freddie Gray, that was 2015, spring, April, May. This is 2022. Communities like Sandtown, all we saw then and now in terms of investment was a renovated Western District Police Station and a new funeral home. That's what West Baltimore got. A new police station and a new funeral home. What kind of optics are they? Was Freddie Gray any different than 1968 Baltimore riots? Dr. King's passing, killing, murder? This is the same?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think, well, first of all, people who are being violent and burning, that's, all that's the same. But the point is what was the cause and what were they attempting to register?
I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
I love you.
They deserve an ounce. It's
Got next. And I'll be up.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. Entered to win it for the long haul, baby. All right. January 9th, we in it to win it. Whew. Bless the Lord. Thank you, Lord, for another day. Allowing us to see a day that no person, no man has ever seen before in the history of time. Isn't that beautiful? I hope you are well. Hope your family is well. That COVID is still out here. Seeing a lot of you wearing masks. Got a chance to hang out with Julian Jones the other night, Saturday night. Baltimore County Council Chair. Council Chair Julian Jones is the second African-American to be a councilman out there in Baltimore County, and the first to become the chair. And he's been reelected as chair by his peers. That's good stuff. That's huge. He had a wonderful event, brought out people from various parts of his network, not just the district. I saw Baltimore City Councilman Robert Stokes out there with Council Chair Jones. Also saw from Baltimore City State Senator Corey McCray from the 45th District. Robert Stokes, of course, is East Baltimore representing. Don't get me with the numbers. But nonetheless, it was good to see, because a lot of people don't know Julian is a Dunbar poet, and he is from East Baltimore, although he is now, of course, county resident. Good morning, Miss Teresa Stevens, representing Upton. So it was really good to see Councilman Jones, his wife Sabrina. I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of how Sabrina has stood by his side the entire time. Julian didn't just get in there, and I say Julian with all due respect. Council Chair Jones didn't just, he wasn't just anointed. As a matter of fact, he had obstacles, but he finally got in there after a couple of tries. Sabrina stood by his side, and he is now making strides that haven't been made before. The first councilman out there, Black, was Ken Oliver, and Ken's sickly now, but nonetheless, because of Ken and his team, and that team would include, or included back then, Dave Green, a planner for Baltimore County. Councilman Oliver was able to bring things to the district that had never been brought before, including a Walmart, a Home Depot, sit-down restaurant, I believe it was TGI Fridays, the Liberty Road Resource Center. That's back when Jim Smith was the county executive. Remember Jim Smith? Jim Smith went on to become, what did he do for? He worked in the Pew administration, but I know he gave her a big lump sum of money to help her campaign in her win against Sheila Dixon. And of course, Pew eventually had to leave office. All right, so we're going to get to our guest today. I'm not sure she's driving. I thought we were having an interview. Are you there? You're muted.
Yep, I'm here.
Do you have somewhere to go? I don't want to hold you. Where are you?
No, I put it in because I had to go do a couple of runs, but I'm on my way. I'm great. Give me like 2 minutes so I can step in the house.
Okay, that'll work. So that's Yolanda Pulley. She'll be joining us today. Good morning, Chelsea Scott. So again, Council Chair Julian Jones had a wonderful event Saturday night, brought out some wonderful people. On that note, let me just send my love and prayers to State Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam, or former State Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam. Senator Pulliam is no longer in office, of course, but she's been recuperating, had some health challenges, but she is my sweetheart out there in Baltimore County. She's been holding it down. She's helped a lot of people for a long time, originally from Jamaica. Wagwan. Speaking about Jamaica, I did see, of all people, out at Julian Jones's fundraiser, a young lady named Donna Clayton. I'm trying to drink more water, y'all. I'm trying to work off the coffee, trying to leave the coffee back. Donna Clayton was the first woman to give me a shot writing a newspaper. Now, somewhere around that time, I started at the Sandtown newspaper, but I do remember when I first started writing as editor, co-editor of the Sandtown newspaper, Sandtown Winchester Viewpoint, and I pulled a couple of them out of the archives over the weekend to show you. But I worked also for the Coppin State Courier, Coppin State's newspaper. I'm not even sure if the Courier still exists. You know, newspapers, it's a dying art. You know, when we started BeMoreNews.com and now Black USA, I was pretty convinced that I did not want to do a publication. It's hard work, manual. Loved it. But a website just seems more 21st century. And you know, even though you put all of the information on the website, such as this upcoming Black Wall Street event that we have this Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. at Terra Cafe, honorees include Baltimore City Councilman Antonio Glover. Even though I put all of the information on the website repeatedly, invariably, people will still call and say, when is the event? I want to tell you a quick story before we get to Ms. Pulley. I remember early on with the website, BeMoreNews.com, I did a story on my dad, security provided by a Pharaoh to German Shepherd. And I put his picture on there, wrote a story about him. If I'm not mistaken, around 2002, he was pushing Souls to the Polls, where the Maryland State Funeral Directors and Morticians Association, they were taking voters, seniors, to the polls in limos. I think it's a beautiful idea. I mean, because some people, the only time they get into a limo is at a funeral or a wedding. And those things are, you know, once in a lifetime events in many cases. But taking those seniors to the, you know, they were so, my dad and his colleagues, they were so proud to be a part of voting. And so people will see me today and look at the work I do. It was passed on, being involved in politics. And we all should be involved in politics. Whether you live in Baltimore County, it is important. The big challenge, I will say, for people in Baltimore County is that most people in the county live on the west side of the county, most Black people. Baltimore County, I think, is 30% Black, much like the state of Maryland. Most of the Black people live out the Liberty Road corridor. There's some, of course, over in Turner Station, Essex. But the county seat is all the way up there in Towson. So how many people ever go to Towson other than to shop at Towson Town Mall? So that's the big challenge. It's geographically bigger. Where in Baltimore, everything is centralized right in the middle. Everybody can come, you know, pretty much equal distance to get to City Hall. Out there in Baltimore County, it's a different ball of wax. There are people in Baltimore County and Randallstown who have never, ever been to the county seat. Okay, let's get to this lady because she's making me dizzy with this damn. When you gonna hold this thing still? Listen, this ain't the evening show. Are you literally gonna hold this thing the whole time? You look nice. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
You literally gonna hold this? I mean, you know, you only been on the network like 16 years. All right, Yolanda Pulley, how are you today?
Well, you know, I'm too blessed to be stressed and too anointed to be disappointed. That's all I can say.
Ooh, that's some Baltimore City stuff there. Too anointed to be disappointed. Are you going somewhere? I see you, you know, or you look this fly every day.
Yeah, you know my morning start early.
Well, what do you do in the morning?
I run to trauma calls. I run to people who need me. I drop the kids off at school, and then, you know, my day starts at probably about 5:30, 6 a.m.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. You out there in the bitter cold.
Driving
Yolanda
outside because it's cold outside. That's when I get the most calls.
When it's cold outside. Okay. So tell us about your show. You're on this network every Monday evening, 6 p.m. And how's that going? Tell us about that.
We always give you our flowers every time we get on because we're so grateful that you found favor in us. You know, Frontline News. We bring you news from Baltimore and beyond. And, we talk about a lot of issues that deals with Black people from Baltimore and beyond because it's not just here. It's everywhere. But I hate to sound this way, but my main focus is Baltimore. Because this is where I am, this is where I reside, and I am Baltimore.
You know, one of the first times we interacted was surrounding Murder Mall. You lived at Murder Mall. That's what Nick Mosby calls it. He wants people to know that he's got that street cred, so he calls it Murder Mall.
You know what?
North and Linden. The apartments at North and Linden, they were across the street from Utah Gardens. Do you remember when Operation Champ was at Utah Gardens? This is before your time. So this is in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. That was
there used to be a boxing gym over there.
Really?
And yeah, I used to go to the boxing gym over there. Marvin McDowell. A lot of people know Umar Boxing. He got his start, or at least part of his career was right there at Utah Gardens. Larry Middleton was the former heavyweight boxer, and he was one of the coaches, as was Joan Carter Conway's late husband, Mr. Tim. Mr. Tim would be there. Mr. Leon was there. He was Dennis was there, a boxing coach, and Mr. Jimmy McAllister, if I'm not mistaken. These were giants right here in our very own city. But since those days, you've continued your advocacy, and I remember back then how adamant you were about the city treating black people treating black people who lived in North and Linden the same way they treat white people who live on Bolton Street. Bolton Hill, just across the street from you.
I know. They didn't treat us the same.
No.
We didn't get nowhere near the same treatment. The crazy part is I watched last night. I watched Emancipation with Will Smith.
How was it?
It angered me.
Yeah, that's why, is it a slavery movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why it angered me, because
I don't want to watch no slavery movie because
I don't want to watch it either, but
like Rosewood. Remember right. Rosewood?
Yeah. And you know what? I don't want to watch it either, but the point that I'm making is,
what
why
angered
we still fighting for the same thing? Why are we still being treated the same way? We still accept it.
I wanted to ask you, have you seen what's going on in Brazil?
Brazil, no.
So they had a similar January 6th event in Brazil. And the thing
I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And the thing is, the president there, now you're making me dizzy. It's a little too early in the morning for this. He's a friend and fan of Donald John Trump.
I wonder why.
Mary Bubala. Do you remember her?
Yeah, she on 45 now, right?
Yeah, she was on
13.
Until she said
about what she said about the women leadership in Baltimore.
Black women leadership.
Right.
And I remember black people defending her. She's not racist. See, some of us, we don't know when we've been insulted.
How? How don't you know? Or is it that you choose to ignore it? Or you choose to keep defending your masters? I told you Baltimore suffered with what I call Stockholm syndrome and trauma bonding. Trauma bonding and Stockholm syndrome is
I've never heard the term trauma bonding. What's that?
When people get together and they bond through trauma. Like
we friends.
Right. Like, say the homeless individuals. They're trauma bonded, and they get this one individual come down there who keep them trauma bonded just to keep trying to get stuff. That's what I consider as what is it, health care for the homeless. And your Christina Flowers. That's trauma bonding.
She's done some good things. She's helped some people. I've seen her help people.
Yeah, I know she helps some people, but sometimes our bad outweigh our good.
All of my good days outweigh my bad days. I won't complain.
I'm gonna complain.
Uh-oh. Not a Flowers fan, huh? See, God don't like ugly and care.
He don't care too much for beauty either. The way that they describe Jesus in the Bible, he was not a cute man.
I know Jesus wasn't no punk.
No, he wasn't.
Jesus went in that church and kicked over the money table.
And that's Yolanda. See, that's the problem that I have. I'm gonna kick over the table. I'm not gonna sit and eat at your table because I heard about
a church. My brother told me about a church this weekend where they throw money on the stage. Have you ever heard of such?
Yeah, I seen it.
Really? Like
they give it.
My brother said like
the pastor. That's when the pastor say a good word and you just go up there and put it on the pulpit floor. That's just for him.
I've never heard of that in my life.
I done seen it.
My brother said it reminded him of a strip club.
Oh, wait a minute. That was
like making it rain.
Well, I don't think that they standing up throwing it like that. They just go and lay it on the pulpit. It's a difference.
I still never heard of nobody throwing money in church on the stage. And then it's been explained to me that apparently, you know, maybe the description is not accurate, but things like this happen. Have our preachers?
They don't ask you to do it. People just do it.
I've seen some things that confuse me when it comes to the church. I'm going to leave that alone and get back to this thing. So you were talking about trauma bonding. You were talking about Stockholm syndrome. And so you feel like the city of Baltimore, in a way, is stuck.
Yeah, yes, definitely. And we're stuck because we're scared to run. We're stuck because we refuse or we scared to choose something different. And that's what keeps us trauma bonded. Because the majority of the ones, the older ones, or the progressive movement joined, local politics, is basically destroying us. And like I said, when I was watching that movie last night, it was this one black guy on there. And Will Smith told everybody to run. And he said that he was going to stay. And he told on them. And then he went to go help the master find the ones that ran. That's Baltimore City.
You know, one of my favorite stories is about Denmark Vesey. And he was attempting to pull off the most elaborate slave insurrection in Charleston, South Carolina. But before it could happen, a slave named Prelude snitched on him.
See? And that's what we do. You know, we're still those slaves in a shack and waiting for them to throw the chitlins in, and we're still fighting over them.
I went to the Squeegee Kid outreach the other day.
I was there.
Did you? Did I see you?
I didn't
Did
see
you see
you.
me? It was
Did
a
you
weird
leave
feel. Were there any Squeegee Kids there? There was some.
It was some, but
I saw more adults than Squeegee Kids.
Well, yeah, you left early because the kids came in. All the kids came in when around about the time that I came in.
What time was that?
I bought some down myself. I got there around about 4 something.
I was there about 3.
I like to be fashionably late.
Okay.
I had to pick up kids.
But I do understand that they were doing haircuts, among other things.
Right. I'm trying to figure out, why would you start an event at 3:00 for children on a school day?
But this was Squeegee outreach.
No, the information that I got was to, have children down there that was looking for jobs, Youth Works, and because I don't have any Squeegee children. Youth Works and children that wanted jobs in Youth Works or permanent jobs or looking for a career path. That's the children that I brought down.
I don't remember the young man's name or his program. Joy Baltimore. I saw this young man, he wasn't young. He wasn't a teenager. Maybe 30, so, with Joy Baltimore. And he was doing outreach to homeless LGBTQ teenagers. And he was speaking to me about homelessness in that particular community. But his table was well prepared. He had toiletries, he had clothes, he had other items that homeless youth need, things we take for granted, toothpaste, soap, washcloth. I was impressed with his table. And it's a topic that's, not everybody wants to talk about. I went to an event. He was a part of this fashion show that they held back in August over at the Baltimore Museum of Art, again for homeless LGBTQ youth. And it's just nice to know that there are those willing to help everybody, that no one is excluded, that there's some help for everybody again.
This is the problem I have, Donnie. Why are we so comfortable with? I don't care what you are, what you identify yourself as, with your color, your preference is. Why are we comfortable in our city with homelessness
at all? Well,
and then you said teenage homeless.
Oh yeah.
Why is that even a thing?
That's why it's important for me when it comes to this Joy Baltimore and other entities. We had a lady on maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago. She had a program in Northeast Baltimore who served homeless teens. And she brought to my attention how there are hundreds
oh my God,
of homeless teens in Baltimore. I think the official number is 300, but there's way more. And especially when you consider young people in fractured or broken homes or traumatized homes. We don't know back in elementary school and junior high school and high school how many young people are dealing with trauma at home. We don't know how many girls, for instance, have been molested or raped, or boys who've been molested or raped, or who are living in those circumstances right now. We don't know.
But do they actually care? Because this is the thing, when Baltimore, this it's too much of a normal thing for people to slide out there. Oh, our homeless individuals and our homeless teenagers. If a parent leave a child in the house by themselves, isn't that neglect?
Absolutely. Oh, we got a lot of neglectful situations. I'm still thinking about the young lady with the beauty salon, and this is totally off topic. I don't know why it came to mind. Destiny Harrison. So 2 years ago, she was the first murder of the year. Not a word, no murderer. She was killed in her beauty salon, 21 years old, in front of a newborn baby.
You do know that's my daughter-in-law's cousin?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it was a complete mess. All because the people upstairs wanted to rob her for hair, and they were jealous of her. And,
well, that couple was exonerated.
And you heard nothing else about it.
Nothing. How does that happen?
When we have everything, when we have failed systems.
The boyfriend was exonerated or cleared.
And she done put out so many police reports on those two couples, on that couple. She had so many reports filed against them. For harassment.
They found the murderer of some right away. But she's an entrepreneur, so that's our clan.
She's black. And I'm sorry to say it,
You're
Donnie.
just going to punch me right in the mouth.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Donnie. She was black. For some reason, our life still don't carry no weight. We're still 3/5 of a man, and we're still only free slaves. And that's the only thing that they'll ever see us as. And I hate to keep saying this about this movie last night, but this guy said that Will Smith asked the guy, he said, "You're now my dog." He said, "Well, can I get some of that good meat that you feed the other dog?" When are black people going to actually get it?
Not all black people were slaves. I want to make that clear, perfectly clear right now. Not all black people were slaves, and not all white people were free.
Well, see, the thing is, Donnie,
America got that all twisted up.
Right, but what they're saying and doing isn't intentional. It's like with me, when I go back in my head and I think about certain things and I see the things and I think about the things that my grandparents had to go through, it angers me. And I'm angry in the inside because I watched that movie. I never even watched Roots.
I watched Roots.
I didn't watch it.
Well, it was the first of its kind. Most of us had never seen a movie. I ain't gonna lie. Chicken George and Fiddler. Ugh.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
sell our slaves galore. Oh my God.
Yeah, but they want to keep us stuck in a slave mentality, like we were born in slavery. We were not.
Okay, that's why.
Tell me about the 400 years before slavery.
That's why they need to make this book into a movie. because this is all about the freedom fighters who would not tolerate slavery at all. And it wasn't just here in America. See, America is late. We talking about down in Brazil. A lot of people don't know this. Brazil has twice as many black people as America because the Portuguese were down in Brazil probably 100 years. Remember the Portuguese. That's who Christopher Columbus was representing, the Portuguese and the Spanish. But this is what we forget, that the black people, the black Moors, controlled Portugal and Spain for 800 years. That's the part. See, if they told that part of the slavery movie, if they told you what was going on before the Portuguese and the Spanish started raping and killing people, if they tell you how the Moors were dominating that Iberian Peninsula for 800 years, teaching them how to bathe,
exactly,
how to dress, how to eat, building some of the first universities in Europe. If they told you that part before, it would kind of explain, oh, these people were mad.
well,
they were mad.
Yeah, and I'm
but their daddy is black.
right. So that's the part that behooves me, Donnie. Like we're stuck at slavery. No, we ruled the earth before slavery.
That's right, boo boo.
The whole earth.
Miss Pulley, that's right.
It was something interesting that I was listening to on your intro when you was talking about Baltimore, and you was walking the streets and talking to different people and doing your spill. Something jumped out at me when you said the only thing West Baltimore got was a funeral home. What you say, a funeral home in a church?
Western District got
renovated. Western District. Yes.
Warhorse renovated Western District. Warhorse is the nonprofit affiliated with Port Covington, Kevin Plank, Under Armour. Warhorse, it's a nonprofit. And they go around renovating police stations. So yes, after Freddie Gray, Warhorse, Kevin Plank and them renovated Western District, which was the absolute source of everyone's discontent during the Freddie Gray unrest. It all centered around Western District. So some white people, in their infinite wisdom, figured, wow, well, what do we do after Freddie Gray? I don't know. Let's go down and renovate the police station. Yeah, that's what we want. Right. Yeah, great thinking. Did you go to Harvard? That's some Harvard thinking. Certainly, that's got to be Oxford. Only an Oxford person would think of something so.
It got to be stupidity.
That's like Mary Miller doing her first commercial in front of Western District. You trying to win a vote, and you do your first commercial. Nobody knows you, and you do your first commercial in front of Western District Police Station. About as disconnected. How
many of them are connected? Where this is my thing right here. Where did all these 30-something candidates go that ran for mayor? Where did they go?
Back to Columbia. I'm on a roll this morning.
I'm trying to figure out. All these people claim that they're doing something or done something.
Where's Ben Jealous? Where's Ben Jealous? He ran for governor, beat all of the Democrats, and I still ain't seen him.
I'm lying. The only one I see is Stokey, because Stokey got a store down there on Emerson. Off of Monroe and off of Monroe Street. He bought the other old restaurant down right across from New Shiloh.
Do you drink water?
Yes, I do. Well, I don't have any more. He's the only one that I ever see. I don't see anybody else.
Here come Deborah Pierce Facuna. We're gonna get her on the show. We must teach our truth. The oppressor will never will. So again, I'm gonna tell you, all black people were not slaves, and not all white people were free. Remember, the Europeans that came to America were fleeing and fleeing religious oppression. Some of them were indentured servants. They owed money.
Yep.
And many were
Absolutely.
criminals.
Yep.
Rapists, murderers, thieves.
Donnie, do you understand what just happened? They enslaved their own for power. They enslaved their own. They enslaved
Black people were involved in slavery too.
Huh?
Black people were involved in slavery.
I know,
too.
but where did the mentality come from? I seen that on a documentary not too long ago.
Some people would say that the slavery, a slave is slave. I ain't trying to be. And so this is what happened when one people conquered another people. It's historic. In many ways, whether we are descendants of slavery or descendants of indigenous peoples, we were prisoners of war. If our team lost, we were prisoners of war.
Right. But I'm just looking at the thing where it.
Well, come over here and try to put a chain on my neck, and I'm gonna show you how much a slave I am. I wish they would. Ain't gonna go to sleep, and I'm serving you food. You die in the night.
I don't understand it. Like you had a family, you had farmhand, but you had 1 million slaves on a property, and nobody thought it was a good idea.
Well, see, that's not the whole story. Did you know, for instance, that in Florida, up until 1831, slavery ended in 1865, up until 1831, if you made it to Florida from Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, South Carolina, if you could make it to Florida, you could get your freedom. Did you know that? They never told us this. If you made it to Florida, you were free, because blacks down there were strapped. And they had hooked up with the indigenous peoples, and those people fought in 2 or 3 Seminole wars. That's why you got to get a copy of I Am Black Wall Street by yours truly, because there's stories that we don't even know. And
I've been asked you, when can I pick up my book?
Oh, you can go to Amazon right now.
It's not a game.
On the way. Thank you. We're going to have a Black Wall Street Awards this Thursday, Yolanda Pulley, who I have avoided calling you my nickname on the show, but Yolanda Pulley, Jason Rodriguez, and Donna Tabron will be among the honorees this Thursday at the Black Wall Street at Terra Cafe, 6 p.m. Come on down. Baltimore City Councilman Antonio Glover will be there. He will be one of our honorees. Want to recognize this young man for his work in the community. We have to celebrate our own. What do you think of that, Yolanda Pulley?
I think that you're truly amazing for recognizing Black people. You know, you give us our flowers while we're here. Most people want to give it to us when we die. I don't, and it's a damn shame that we only associate flowers with death now. Not with the living, not with the funeral. Do you know I actually ran into young people that never been to a wedding? And they're in their 30s.
Well, you know, Yolanda, let me ask you this. How do poor people continue to be poor?
The mindset.
Yeah. So there's poor and there's broke. There's poor and there's broke. Broke is a temporary condition which can be fixed. But poor is a mentality.
Yep.
Full of bad decisions.
Yep.
I got $20, so I'm gonna give me a bag of weed, 3 quarts of Old English 800, and a pack of oodles of noodles. Or somebody out on the streets panhandling for money. As soon as they get $5, they run into the dope man. I see it all day, every day. Panhandling, including white people, in the hood since Freddie Gray.
They're allowed to come in our communities and do things and be accepted. We're not allowed to.
Fox 45 never talks about the white people doing that in the community. Never, ever. They talk about the squeegee kids like they the scourge of the earth. But every day in the community, I see the white panhandlers who steal everything. I remember when the dollar store on the avenue, they were just walking out the front door. Dollar store didn't have a security guard. And it made me want to kick somebody in the head. Because as they steal, as people steal, black and white, the price of the items inside goes up because we got to pay for this foolishness. But just the audacity, the brazenness.
But they're not going to white communities and their dollars, their family dollars and stealing. They're coming in ours and doing it. So that means that our prices go up. And let me tell you something. I was on my way. I dropped my son off downtown so he can get on the bus and get on the bus to go to Amazon. He wanted to catch the bus that day. That's a slave plantation if I ever seen one.
It beats a blank. And it's more noble than standing on the corner slinging dope, coke, and rock to your own
Nobody
people.
in my house is allowed to do that. That's unacceptable. That's But I'm on my way back up Martin Luther King Boulevard, and I'm waiting to turn at the light of Pennsylvania and Martin Luther King Boulevard to go up Pennsylvania Avenue. Now, I seen the lady, the I don't know if I should say white or Caucasian. I don't know, politically correct. But she was standing there walking in between cars. Now, when I was on my way down, I put my hand up like, okay, you know, on the way back up, I was sitting at the turn light. She came and put her head in my window and said, "Do you have any money?" And, you know, sometimes, you know, my mouth don't catch up with my head and I have to say things and, you know, that's just how I am. And I told her, I said, "Ma'am, that was just bold as hell. Why would you put your head in any black woman's window and ask for money? Now, I'll be wrong if I catch a hate crime out here."
Privilege, and if you crack slick on her, she'll still call you the N-word.
Exactly. But you're standing down in our community begging and have the audacity to put your head in my window.
And we'll call you the N-word.
Yeah, I would have called it a hate crime. I'm trying to tell you, I would have called that.
She will call you the N-word.
Okay. But just like
who's
you said,
the savage?
Remember
in the cowboy and Indian movies, they always refer to the Indians as the savages. What is the excuse of a person whose people have been here 400 years killing and raping black and brown people who is broke? What do you call that? You had 400-year head start on all black people, but you have the audacity to come to the most socio-economically challenged community in the state of Maryland because you are a dope fiend.
Do you know when we was down there?
Or whatever your issue might be. But let there be black people, oh yeah. They call us dope fiends, crackheads, all of that.
But now it's being glorified because, which now
Ronald Reagan, Colonel Oliver North, the Iran-Contra affair dumped crack on black cities and black communities across America. Nancy Reagan said, just say no. So you tell that lady, just say no.
And we fell for it. That's the sad part. We fell for it.
Well, see, in the process, you got a lot of black people who started turning in on black people. You know? It's one thing when white people, racist white people, mean white people are mean to black people. But it's another thing when your own are mean to you. Whoa, baby.
That's because we've been taught that. You know, that's how we had to do. That's how they did us in slavery. They made us turn on our own, and we have not came out of that mentality.
Light
I don't
skin
understand
versus dark skin, good hair versus bad hair, all of those stereotypes.
I would have been a house nigga.
Oh, we don't say that word on this network, lady.
No, that's what they called us last night on that movie.
But this ain't a movie. No, I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna be the one that's gonna be listed in one of these books, The Freedom Fighter, and we ain't taking no prisoners.
Well, Donnie, the sad reality is that when the white man said on that show last night, it struck a nerve. He said, "My daddy told me." He said, I was sneaking the black woman, the black slave, food because I liked her. She fed me. She took care of me. She bathed me. She was like my mother." And he caught me sneaking food to her, and he killed her. And the only thing she could say was "why" as she was dying. And he said, "Son, I need you to understand that if you give black people freedom, they will come back and take the land and take the money and eat our food. You did that to us. We didn't do that to you. One good turn deserves another. I believe in the eye for eye. And if people don't understand or start doing the right thing or start paying attention, because all this stuff that's happening is intentional. They put us in impoverished neighborhoods to make us kill ourselves, so white people can come in and be saviors.
Well, we've had black mayors.
Economic plan.
We've had black mayors. I remember when Obama came into power. He sent a boatload of money to Baltimore. And my understanding is then Mayor Stephanie Rawlins Blake put that money downtown. None of that money went to East and West Baltimore. And that's what I don't get. All of this investment in the downtown, including the dead harbor. But
they
no
keep
money
beating
to
that
East and
dead
West
horse
Baltimore.
back. They keep trying to resurrect that dead horse. It's not Jesus.
That horse is dead.
Been dead.
It's been dead. Because this is why. This is what a lot of people in power don't get about Baltimore. If you don't bless the entire city, you don't bless the city. You think you gonna bless the harbor and white people and another tourists, they gonna come to the harbor and not see Freddie Gray, Penn North. We got our leaders are so racist.
Yeah,
the
but that's
Greater
why they got
Baltimore Committee, all of them famous things. We can't talk at the same time. I'll shut up. You go ahead.
But I'm talking about that's why they got certain routes that don't hit the inner city. It's an in and out thing. You jump on 83 or 695, come in and go out. They make sure that nobody goes through the inner city to see how they make us live. It's intentional.
God don't like ugly and care less for beauty. It goes for individuals. It goes for cities too. You have to bless everybody. Everybody has to eat. Black, white, Latino, Asian. Everybody has to eat. Some people think only they are going to eat and they won't be blessed. I don't know what God they serve, but my God don't bless foolishness.
Well, God also said, if you do my poor people, my widows wrong, then I'll send a phantom through the land. What is COVID? Baltimore City has the highest rate of COVID.
Highest rate of STDs too.
Everything.
Well, it's sad when you think that Johns Hopkins, the greatest research institution in the world, is here also. So they ain't too damn great in my book. If anything, they're experimenting on us. And that's why I pray the family of Henrietta Lacks get every damn dime that they are owed.
Didn't they win?
Them racist sons of
Didn't they win?
I haven't heard that.
I could have swore I heard that they won.
I know Ben Crump. I know Ben Crump brought the lawsuit.
No, they won, and they're just taking a long time. And see, the thing is, Donnie, they make sure you win, but they make sure that payout don't come out till after you die.
They're gonna pay that money.
Yeah, but how long do we have to wait? They won.
It shouldn't be that long. Pay them their damn money.
That's what I'm saying. So they're gonna wait.
Cough it up. They're gonna cough it up. Don't worry. If one generation don't get it, another will. I just pray the generation that does understands the history and the struggle that comes with it. But what they did to Henrietta Lacks, they made billions off of. Medical apartheid. That's what it is. Medical apartheid. On that note, let me do a plug for Dr. Tyrone Taborn and the Metaquake, the metaverse. If you are a Baltimore City leader and you're interested in helping to bring the Black Engineer of the Year awards back to the city of Baltimore in 2024, do contact me. Thus far, we have some leaders who have stepped up: Al Hutchinson, also J. Wendell Gordon, and one other, I forgot. But we're bringing back the Bayer. That's the Black Engineer of the Year awards. It brings millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars in investment. It was founded by a Black man. He did it here for 25 years, but then the city of Baltimore was not embracing of this huge initiative. We busy doing things like the Grand Prix. Remember the Grand Prix? Took our damn rec money and opened up some damn Grand Prix, messing up the city.
Messing up the city. Do you know people still haven't gotten paid from that?
What a dumb idea.
Why would
Hey,
they
Angela
able to get away with
Marshall. Angela Marshall got married. I didn't even know that. Did you know that? Yay!
that?
Go ahead.
Congratulations.
What's this mean?
It's the snap. It's the snap.
Oh, snap. Okay. Angela Marshall. Good morning. Once you hide your poverty areas, you can neglect them.
That is true.
All right, here's some facts. This is from our attorney extraordinaire, Keisha Brown. We'll file an amended complaint this week against a biotech company accused of profiting off of her immortal cell. Well, Ben Crump took the case. That's what I do know. They got action. So no Baltimore attorney wanted to take the case. They were afraid of Hopkins.
That's what they do to us. Where's up, Donnie? Can I ask you a
Ben Crump
question?
ain't scared.
No,
Ben
but
Crump,
they did the same thing to us when we tried to, when I said the class action lawsuit need to be filed against HUD and housing, HABC, and I said the class action lawsuit needs to be filed against the educational system. We could not find not one Black leader, not one Black attorney, not one Black civil rights person who would take it because nobody wanted to go against the system. But yet we smile.
some of us are scared. We don't want to lose our access to the VIP light skin parties. Yeah, I said it, because Baltimore still suffer from, let me tell you something. You remember Son Giordano, Ivan Bates, and Mark McLaurin did the show, the Light Skin Brothers show? Yes,
No.
they did. I was so insulted. It was the dumbest thing in American media. And when they did it, it just left a taste in my mouth. My mother was as light as they come. My daddy was as chocolate as they come. Well, he wasn't Black Stevie Black, but you get the drift.
Yeah.
There was no judgment on complexion, but we still suffer from it. We still suffer from it. I see the little VIP parties we have at certain events. It's roped off. A lot of people don't know about the history of Jack and Jill, about the paper bag test.
Colorism.
Interracial racism.
Yeah.
Still perpetuated today. Stop that shit. First cuss word of 2023.
Wow.
Stop it. Stop it.
Well, you know that still goes back to slavery, where the colorism, Black people will talk colorism, and it lingered on in families, and it still lingers on today. Like our
lady used the term in front of me, the black sheep. Oh, boo boo, stop! Oh, pump your brakes.
I always embrace the black sheep.
The white sheep?
No,
black sheep, black eye, black ball, blacklist.
Everything associated with Black was considered evil.
Bad. Yeah, stop! Don't do that in front of me. I'll check you by, give you what Brother Bay said, give you a checkup from the neck up. Don't come sliding no terms like that around me. I ain't the one.
I embrace black sheep. Black. Well, see, you remember Third Base? Unapologetic. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But I get in trouble for being it.
It is what it is, player.
But
let me ask you this. What do you think about the little man on the big bed telling us to go go sports gambling. I used to love this comedian. $450 million. Kevin Hart, worth $450 million. And he come telling Marylanders to get involved in sports gambling on your phone.
What's the difference, Donnie, in who we choose?
He's not funny now. He's no longer funny.
No,
He's
because
sad.
he's
sad. He's pathetic.
He should have stayed how he was, but just like you said, money changes.
And
It doesn't mean at the end of the day, money
got him on that big bed. You know he looked like a little baby.
It's a difference between
he should have got a bed that matched his size a little more. He looked like he on a trampoline. I used to love Kevin Hart.
I did too.
No. They ain't pushing sports gambling. Our people can't afford it. And he pushed sports gambling on us. $15 billion has come through the gambling, but we got schools with no air and no heat. Kevin.
Why did we continue to let them lie to us, talking about lottery and gambling is going to fund our Baltimore education when it goes to Baltimore County? Nothing hits the city. And the dude on the news said it best this morning. What's his name? That commentator about wasted management. He said, and I've been saying it for years, the more money that you put in the education system does not correct the problem. The more money that goes in with no oversight, you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Well, this is what nobody wants to say. Baltimore is 9-1 Democrat. Now, a lot of these Democrats are racist. They are more racist than the Republicans, but they hide behind the Democrat. And so, if your gang is 9-1 Democrat, then everybody's covering for everybody. There's no accountability. That's what Hogan brought to the equation. That's what Ehrlich brought to the equation. Oh, what about this right here? Not that they are friends, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You don't know what Captain got more money from Ehrlich than all of the Democrats combined. Now I'm gonna say this, and some people ain't gonna like it. Morgan is always getting money. But students at Morgan sometimes have the worst educational experience of their lives. Because Morgan still got a lot of that foolishness going on in the administration, no matter how many new buildings it has.
Yeah, my son and my nephews, they left Morgan.
As did my daughter, as did my son, as have I.
You know, my son came home and said to me, he said, "Ma, black where?" Did you see the
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Yeah, but did you see the one that was on in the news about the historic black college that got majority of white teachers, and one of the black students said something to her and she didn't like what she said and she had her arrested? She didn't curse at her. She didn't. She said, "Of course, I raised my voice because she raised her voice at me. I'm still a grown woman."
So Karen put her off of HBC. Oh, Professor Karen put her off of HBCU campus. We're going to have to revisit the mission of the HBCU because some people are pimping it for their own benefit, and we tired of it. If it's not empowering. Let me tell you, did you know you have 9 black college presidents between Baltimore and Washington, D.C.? When have they had a conference? 9 black college presidents. When have they come together and started talking about the future? Because if academia, hey, look, you got a mute button.
Yeah.
Okay, we can ready to put you off anyway. But if academia isn't making life better for the community, ding, then what's the point of education?
Well, that's what trauma looks like. Just because I'm on a radio show, it just don't stop. I just put it on where it don't ring.
It's been a pleasure speaking with Yolanda Pulley. aka the Bully, right here on blackusa.news. Do check out her show tonight at 6 p.m. with Jason Rodriguez and Donna Tabron. They will be honored this Thursday at Terra Cafe from 6 to 8 p.m. at Black Wall Street, MLK. I will leave you with the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The richer we become materially, the poorer we become morally and spiritually. We have learned to fly the air like birds and swim the seas like fish, but we have not learned the simple art of living together as brothers and sisters. Any final words, Yolanda?
Yeah, you know what? All the senseless stuff that's going on in our city and across the United States. You know, I want people to know, even no one told you today that they love you, I love you. I love all my people. I love you, Donnie. I love our viewers. And you know, as Mark Cannon says, if you go in peace, you're guaranteed to rest in peace. I pray for peace that surpasses all our understanding in our city. And I pray for those families that lost, you know, children at the beginning of the year.
Good morning, world. Have a good day.